I think there's two very distinct and separate stories.
Right.
I think they're both very interesting.
Right.
One story is
should
sort of,
censorship ever happen? That's a whole.
as policy, should censorship policy be made in unofficial channels for a nonprofit social justice education organization? That to me is the paramount issue. KBMF and the Butte America Foundation were started on the premise of social justice and education. That's why I am with them. I'm a big fan of radio, and I like the mission of the station, and I like the mission of Butte America Foundation. I find those two, the tenets of education and social justice, of paramount importance. So that's what I find disturbing, is that they've seemed to have been making policy outside of proper channels, outside of sunlight. There's been no official meeting, or it feels like in the, I know to use this word can be considered extreme or inflammatory, but there seems to have been a conspiracy by board members to censor our show.
So, as the ongoing licensee, BAMF, the board of directors, can decide what content goes on KBMF or does not. And then the last level of what gets decided on KBMF is the station manager of KBMF. And the station manager, according to the KBMF Community Radio and FCC Agreements and Training Manual, can decide at any time to cancel any show or any DJ's privileges with no notice and no explanation. Those are
Within his rights.
So you have, it's within his rights, and it's stated ahead of time that you understand if you do something, no, you just might be gone. That's understood. So those are the proper channels. First Amendment rights don't really apply to community radio. FCC law is king. Then the licensee can decide, we don't want you talking about sugar on the radio station because we just think we just shouldn't touch that topic, it's dangerous. And the station manager can at any time cancel a DJ's privileges with no notice or explanation. What we have found out over the past couple of weeks happened is what is concerning to us, which is that it seems some members of the board got together at a board retreat, and in discussing things while they were at a retreat, which was not an official meeting, they made a decision to limit the content on our radio show, which, again, legally, as the licensee, they can do that, but according to the rest of the bylaws, it's pretty clear that they're supposed to either do it at a regular monthly meeting that members know about, which any DJ of KBMF and anyone that's donated to BAMF is a member of BAMF and can be present at any of their meetings. And if
they're supposed to notify all the members
if
of
there's
the
going
meetings,
to be a special
official
meeting.
meetings or a special meeting, right?
And then, according to the bylaws, in order for anything to be called to a vote or any agenda item to be brought forward, there has to be a quorum established, which means at least 50% of the board members have to be present, plus one more to keep it from just being halvesies. In this case, we have only 8 board members right now, and I don't know if that includes Madam President or not, but we only have, which means there would have had to have been at least 5 board members present in order for a quorum to be established, in order for any agenda item to be brought up or any vote or consensus taken. And then in addition to those things, which again, maybe that was achieved at this board retreat, there has to be a record that's made public of any decisions that are made on the airwaves. And all of these things are in the BAMF bylaws. Again, it's possible, since July's meeting minutes are ratified at the August meeting and then made public, it's possible that a decision was made last weekend and we just won't see any record of the decision being made officially and through proper channels until the September board meeting on Sunday.
That's possible?
It's possible.
It seems inappropriate.
However, the way that information came to us makes us call into question whether or not any official decision was made, because the station manager, when he pulled us in to let us know he was limiting our content, made it very clear it was his decision to limit our content, which technically he can ask us to do kind of as friend and fellow member, but it's actually the licensee's right to limit content. So that was already a little, okay, we don't mind.
We'll work with you.
We do mind censorship on principle, but we understand these are very emotionally and politically charged times. we'll work with that. We'll just let our listeners know KBMF has asked us to stop talking about this particular data.
We were called into a specific meeting on Friday with the station manager. Yeah.
Yeah. And then he said, no, you also can't tell anybody that I told you to limit the content that you're putting on KBMF.
He said we couldn't say it on the air. So the thing that was troubling
Right,
to
to
me,
be clear, he said you cannot say on KBMF airwaves that I've told you to limit content. So there's the censorship, which is technically the licensee's right. And then there's the gag order, which was very troubling and was an official determination by the station manager that we were not allowed to say what happened. In response to, and I'll just break it down real quick timeline. In response to that meeting on Friday, we produced 2 shows on Sunday. One show went out on the airwaves that completely complied with all the station manager's requests and said, this is going to be our end of season 1 on KBMF. Due to recent changes, we're going to go off air for a little while, but we hope to see you again soon. So we're completely in compliance there with our on-air show. And then off air on our live streams, which we've been doing every Sunday in concurrence so that we can have listener feedback through Facebook and other platforms.
we're streaming live from the studio.
So the on-air broadcast was completely in compliance. Off-air, we were like, guys, we've got to wrap up season 1. Unfortunately, there's been an issue with censorship and a gag order on top of the censorship. It's very troubling, especially as a social justice and education station, for the station manager to just be able to decide what content doesn't go out and that we can't say certain content has been limited on the radio station. So we're going to take a break. And then on Monday, we wrote an official response to the station manager's determinations.
To the board.
And sent it to the board and shared it with all the BAMF members, which is a private group on Facebook that only DJs who are members of Butte America Foundation can see. And we said, FYI guys, this happened. We feel like we should be worried as an organization that these sorts of decisions can come so quickly and with seemingly no accountability around who gets to decide what content is said or not said on our community radio station. And because we shared that with the members of BAMF on Monday, on Tuesday, the station manager emailed us and officially terminated our rights as DJs at KBMF, which means that on top of post-orthodoxy not being able to return to the airwaves, my weekly kid co-hosted talk radio show is not allowed on the airwaves anymore either. And the station manager said that we were welcome to make a 10-minute statement at the board meeting on Sunday, which we were already planning on attending. And that's kind of where things have been left off.